Hello and welcome to the video. My name is Wade Smith, and I'm really an LSU football fan, but they're not doing so great this year, so I'm kind of discussing Vanderbilt in this video. Um, so far, this appears to be by far the best Vanderbilt team that I have ever seen in my entire life, and I got two words for you: Diego Pavia. This kid doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He just doesn't. I mean, aside from one interception on Saturday, which was kind of didn't even matter anymore. But like normally, he reads the defense correctly. He throws the ball where it needs to be when it needs to be there, and when it's not open, he scrambles or it's a design quarterback draw anyway, and he runs for it. And so I think he combined for 420 yards accounted for and six total touchdowns accounted for in that game. And they could have scored 80 if they wanted to, like I said, 70 or 80 points if they wanted to in that game. But they slacked off halfway through the third quarter and then again about a third of the way into the fourth quarter and they pulled their starters. But I mean, if they had left the starters in all, I realize you don't want to do that to get somebody hurt, but I'm just saying they could have scored 80 on them on Utah State. So of course, Alabama just upset Georgia, if you can call that an upset. But I know what's going to happen. Alabama's going to get this overinflated ego, and they're going to think they got a free win against Vanderbilt again, and Vanderbilt is going to outplay them and outthink them. I gotta say this Vanderbilt team is beating people by flat out outthinking them at times. And that's what you would expect from people that require a 3.5 GPA to play extracurricular activities, right? Whereas the rest of the SEC, you can have a D minus and play football. At Vanderbilt, you're required to have I think it's a 3.5 GPA to play football. So they're smart kids, and it's a smart coach. They ought to be able to outthink you, and I think that's what they're doing so far this season is flat out outthinking the other team. Especially in the case of Diego Pavia. I think he's one of the better, if not the best, quarterbacks in Division One right now. So maybe he's a couple inches shorter and smaller than you expect from the most elite Heisman winning trophy quarterbacks, but he wins games. So and he wins big games. So give the guy some credit. And who do they have to beat to get into the top 10 or the top 15 first and then into the top 10? If they beat Alabama this week, they probably should go to the top 10. So I'm going to say that they'll probably win the Alabama game by 2 or 3 points, either a safety worth or a field goal worth. And the same thing against LSU. They're probably going to beat LSU because LSU cannot run the ball. And if you can't run the ball, you can't work the clock. And if you're going to give Diego Pavia close to 90 plays like they did Ole Miss, um, he's going to run the score up on you. I don't know what else to tell you because he doesn't make stupid plays. Garrett Nussmeier makes stupid plays throwing in the triple coverage. Um, but Diego made like one mistake in really he's had 3 interceptions so far this season in 5 games, but he had one mistake against Utah State, which was the interception. But it didn't matter because they won by 20 points, and like I said, they could have ran the score up to whatever they wanted to. Um, so give him some credit, Diego Pavia, and the rest of Vanderbilt's team, especially their offensive line, because they remember both sides of every play and they swap in and out positions on their offensive line as the play that they're calling for goes. Uh, give them some credit for running some creative plays. Give Diego Pavia credit for making the right read every single time, just about, and making the throw. And like I said, when nobody's open, he can scramble. Unlike some other quarterbacks, he can actually take off and run for 10 or 20 yards. And who cares if he's smaller than average for a quarterback? He's getting the job done, and somebody needs to take notice of that at the Heisman Committee and the maybe even the NFL scouts, because if he's an inch or two or three shorter than an average quarterback that you want him to be, yeah, I don't. What do you care about? Or, your theory that the quarterback needs to be 6'3", or do you care about the fact that he makes a perfect play every play? I like it. I like his play style. I like his thinking. So, I might eat crow if they lose, but I'm betting on Vanderbilt. I'm betting on Vanderbilt to beat Alabama. I'm going to bet on Vanderbilt to beat LSU too. They got high mindedness at some of these bigger schools, and it's like getting beat by Vanderbilt might humble them. Getting beat again might finally humble them because they don't like they've been humbled after the first loss from last season. And I guess that's you know they're more likely to beat LSU than they are Alabama, by the way, because LSU cannot run the ball, and Garrett Nussmeier makes poor decisions with the football. But I guess that's the end of the video. I think I've covered everything I want to talk about. But you know, I don't know that Vanderbilt's going to win out the whole season or something like that. It'd be funny if they did. It'd be awesome if they did. And I don't even root for them, but I'm going to root for them this year because LSU sucks.